Hey guys, and welcome back to another Speedpaint. So today's Speedpaint is a draw this in your style. Hashtag draw with Sully, I think was the hashtag, and I'll leave all the beautiful information in the description to the original one. But I was super attracted to this draw this in your style for the colors. I love the colors, so I was like, I want to do this, and I did it. And actually, I think I did this in record time because this is like not a simple drawing. Like I usually do simpler stuff, and this took me like 4 hours. I want to say 3 hours stream time, which means that I procrastinated a lot because sometimes I get distracted when I stream art. But it was still pretty fast. I don't know. I really enjoyed the process of working in it. I had fun. Valentine's Day. So yeah, let's get to today's topic. So I thought we would do something fun today. I've been sick. What's new, Cams? And I just was thinking what are we gonna do on stream today, because last time I struggled so much thinking of a topic. And this is something I've seen both Jenna Marbles, but I think the first person I ever saw do it was is his name in YouTube still Amazing Phil, or is he Phil Lester? I don't know. Amazing Phil do it first, and then I saw Jenna do it. So I've been wanting to do this for a while because I've been told that my childhood things were funny, so maybe you'll find them funny. And it's nice, lighthearted, and not everything is aliens and conspiracy theories in this channel. Sometimes we talk about how dumb I used to be as a child, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, it's probably the title, but it's things I used to think when I was a child. Very dumb things I used to think I was a child. I divided it into two categories. The first one is things that I somehow thought on my own. I have context for some of them. Like I know why some of them led me, like what led me to that belief. But I also have three actually, that fall in the category of things that adults make me think when I was a kid. And yeah, I kind of like excluded things that I feel like almost everyone thought as a child, like maybe thinking there are tiny people inside the TV, or that your heart was actually heart shaped, shit like that. I didn't include things like that because I feel like most kids think stuff like that. So let's just start, and let me tell you, I can't tell you exactly the ages I thought these things, but I'll try my best, just so you know. So the first thing I thought when I was a kid, and I can tell you I thought this I don't know, until I was 6 years old, I don't know. And it was that continents were in different planets. And you're like, what the fuck, Cams? What does that mean? And it means that I lived in South America, and I thought South America was in planet Earth. But then maybe Europe was in Mars, and North America was in Mercury. I don't know. I didn't have an exact location where every continent was, but I can tell you that I really thought different continents were in different planets. And I can tell you this because one time I asked what continents or what countries were in Jupiter, and I don't know. I don't remember what the person I asked told me, but I can tell you, they probably thought I was joking because nobody's that dumb, even if you're a 6-year-old. But yeah, I thought continents were in different planets. I thought when you took a plane to a different country, you would take a plane through space and go to another planet. And I can't tell you why I thought that, honestly. I can't. I have no explanation for this one. This next one, I kind of do have an explanation. But it was that the United States of America and Miami were the same thing. So the whole if someone said they were going to the United States, they were going to Miami because they were the same thing. And then Miami was just Disney. I didn't know Disney wasn't in. It was in Florida and Orlando. I know that now. But back then, Miami was Disney. So people went to Miami. Nobody lived in Miami. It was just Disney. Because I thought the people who work at Disney were Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse worked at Disney. I went to Disney when I was 3 years old. I obviously don't remember it. have tons of pictures though. But apparently, everyone who worked at Disney, even though I saw people there that were like real people working, I just thought they were all Disney characters. I can't explain. I can't explain to you why I thought USA, Miami were the same thing, because all my family that lived in America back then, they all lived in Miami, all of them. So I think like when someone said United States, they always referred to Miami because it was the only place I knew. I mean, I might have known about New York, but I really can't explain much more. But yeah, that's it. When people say I'm going to United States, they were going to Miami, and they were going to Miami to go to Disney. There was nothing else there, so yeah. This one, it's kind of fucked up, and I can tell you why I thought it, because I remember exactly. I don't remember what show it was, but it was that like monsters were real, and the way monsters were created were in like a, you know, Frankenstein situation, creates a monster. No, it was like if someone had a car accident, they would become a monster. If someone had like fell off a building, they would become a monster. And the reason I thought this was because my grandmother was watching a novela. I don't remember which one. I wish I remember, because I want to rewatch that scene and see if I understand it now, because I think I just understood it wrong or just heard wrong. But there was a scene, and there was like a psychic reading tarot cards, and like another character had just had a car accident, and she was like reading the tarot cards, and she was saying like, oh, Juanito is like, his name was not Juanito, but that's the first name that came into my mind. Juanito was in a car accident, and now he's a monster. And like she flips the card, and it's the devil, but it was like a very monster looking devil, and it was like very tragic and traumatic and all that. So I think like my 28-year-old brain now thinks that maybe she was saying that like the reason he got into a car accident was because he was a bad person and he was a monster in that way, not that he was a physical monster. But I also have this memory, and I don't know if it's a false memory, because you know, you sometimes have like false memories from when you were kids, you know, you're not sure if it was a dream or not, of like them going to the hospital to see the man that had the accident, and they like go to his room and like take his blanket off, and he was a monster. But I think that was a false memory, because there's no way that is in a novela, right? That, I mean, kinda, maybe, I don't know. Another thing, and I think this one is very common, but I wanted to tell a story about it, so because the story is kind of a little funny. But I thought my mom's name was Mom, and I think that's pretty normal. But the thing is, I remember this very vividly. I was in kindergarten, the first time I did kindergarten twice, because I was going to first grade and I was only 4 years old, and my new school was like, Nana, you're too young to go to fourth grade. You can't be a fourth grader if you're 4 years old. So I was sent back to pre-K. So I did kindergarten twice. The first time I did kindergarten, so I was like 3-4 years old. This has to be like my earliest memory. My teacher asked me, because we were doing like a Mother's Day thing, and my teacher asked me for my mother's name, and I was like, what? My mom's name is not Mom? That was in my head. And I was just like, oh my God, what is my mom's name? And I kind of remembered that I heard the name Doris a lot. My mom's name is Doris. I heard the name Doris a lot, so I just say Doris because I don't know. And it turns out I was right. My mom's name was Doris, but I had no idea. I just kind of guessed it. I could have easily said like another name that I heard a lot, like maybe my grandmother's name. I could have just said Socorro, and that was my grandmother, and that's my aunt. That was my aunt. So yeah, I just thought that was something funny, and it's probably I have a lot of memories about like my pre-K kindergarten years. Like I remember so vividly. One, I have a bunch of memories about that. One, I remember this girl that later I met in high school again. Funny. But we were like 3 years old, and she took like expired vitamin C tablet, and she puked all over the floor. I have another memory that was like my classroom, there was like a long stairs, and then there was the bathroom, and a kid fell off the stairs. And I also remember that they were like this little hedge with turtles. Like they were tortoises, and one of them bit one of my friends, and her finger turned black. And these are all memories that I've told my mom, and she says, yeah, that happened, that was like that. Oh, I also remember that there was a girl who had the same initials as me, MCC, And they, like, one time they confused our lunches, and they gave me her lunch and they gave her my lunch, and my mom went to school that day for something, and she was like, why are you eating that? That's not your lunch. So I remember a bunch of things when I was like 2 3 years old. I don't know why, but most things I remember from that age was from that school. I don't have memories, a lot of memories outside of school. I think that just shows you how important school is when you're a kid. But anyways, let's move on. This one doesn't make a lot of sense if you're not from here, but I thought I'd include it just in case. But there's this thing called salpicón, and salpicón is two things here. Either it's like this like juice, or it's like this food that is like one of my favorite foods, which is like tuna with onions and veggies, and it's delicious. It's either of the, I think it, depending on where you're from, salpicón is something different. It's one of those words. And then there's this other thing called sarapico, and I googled it, and evidently sarapico is a bird, but in my contest, sarapico is the little larvae, I don't know how you say that is like a mosquito before it turns into a mosquito. So like if you have like set water, like a bucket of water, you know, have mosquito lay eggs there, and then they're like the little sarapicos. Also apparently some people say it's like the frog, like the tadpoles are sarapico. I don't know, another word that that is like, depending on where you're from, means something different. So it's funny that it's both of those words. So I thought salpicón and sarapico were the same thing. So one time, my mom was like, do you want some salpicón? And I was like, ew, no. Why would I want to drink water filled with larvae? And then she had to explain to me that they were different things. So yeah. And this one is kind of long, and I can't tell you why I thought that. It's twofold, because first I thought something that someone kind of educated me on it, but they didn't educate me very well, so I thought something also wrong afterwards. But when I was like a child, like 4 years old, or like maybe 4 or 5 years old, I thought, and I can draw this because the memory is so vivid, I thought that when you ate, there was like a ghostly thing inside of you that ate your food, and inside that one there was another ghostly person that ate that food, and it was just like a cycle of people inside people inside people inside people that just ate all of it. I can't explain to you why I thought that, but I thought that, and every time I ate food I imagined it in my head. But then someone told me that that wasn't a thing, like you ate your food and then like it went down your body and it came out in your poop, and when you drank stuff it went down your body and it came out of your pit. And I just took this to mean that your mouth was connected by a long tube all the way down to a hole where you pooped and peed, like a cloaca. And yeah, that's how I thought you ate. And that would just went out, like there was no organs, there was no stomach, no intestines, none of that. It was just like a long esophagus all the way down to your unique cloaca. And I also thought that if you wanted to pee, or really bad, and you couldn't go pee, or you didn't want to go pee, you could eat something like bread, and it would go all the way down there, and it would clog. It would plug your cloaca. It sounds so ridiculous saying it out loud. It would plug it so you wouldn't have to pee anymore. And I can't tell you why I thought that. I can't, but it was just something I thought. And now I'm gonna go to things that adults make me believe, and till this day I still think some of these things, because it's just, that's how traumatized I was. Also, like, mosquitoes are biting my feet, and I'm scared of what was it that was going around? Malaria. Please don't give me malaria. That's the last thing I need right now. Anyway, the first thing wasn't actually an adult. It wasn't actually an adult. It was my brother, and he's only like, what, 4 years older than me. I don't know how old my brother is. Don't tell anyone. I know my sister is 10 years older than me. I don't know how old my brother. Well, if my sister is 10 years older than me, and she's 2 years older than my brother, that means he's 8 years older than me. Math cams. Anyways, my brother is 8 years older than me, so he was like a teenager when he told me this. He told me that the tap water from the sink was the same water like in sewage, so it was all dirty with rats and cockroach. And why this happened was because I had a lollipop and I was eating a lollipop and he stole it from me and he like licked it. And I was like, I don't care. I don't care about your cooties. I'm gonna eat it anyways. And he was like, ew, I just had chicken and rice and now it's gonna taste like chicken and rice. So I was like, it's fine, I'll wash it. And I went to the sink and I like put water on it to like wash his chicken and rice taste, because he wanted the whole lollipop for himself. A teenager, and I was a child. That was my brother. My brother traumatized me in many things. I could have a whole video of things my brother traumatized me with. But yeah. So I went and like put it under the tap water and I was like, see, now it's not gonna taste like chicken and rice. And he was like, yeah, but now you put it under water and the same water is all like sewage water, dirty with cockroaches and rats. So now it's gonna taste like cockroach and rat. And I didn't eat the lollipop. And sometimes I still think about that. And I was like a kid, so fun. The next one is something my grandmother made me believe. And until this day, I still flinch when there's thunder. But it's basically that if you're barefoot and there's like a thunderstorm outside, you're more likely to get struck by lightning. So even now I know that's not real, but every time I'm like barefoot and my feet are touching the ground and like I see lightning or I hear the thunder, I just go and get on a chair immediately because I'm so scared. So stupid. And it traumatizes me that I still do it even though I know it's not real. And the last one I got from my mother. And you know, I don't know if you know these, but they're like this little, I think some people call them coconut ants. They have like different names, but they're basically like this house ants that are very tiny and they bite so hard. Like for how tiny they are, they bite really hard. And when you squish them, they have a smell to it. And some people say the smell is like rotten coconuts, and that's why they're called coconut ants. It's a pretty nasty smell and taste. If they get into your food, disgusting. But anyways, my mom would always say that they smelled like Miami. So I lived in Miami, and I know Miami doesn't smell like rotten coconuts. But till this day, when I smell it, I think, oh, it smells like Miami. And I was asking her about that earlier. She has no idea why. But she also told me that she thought everyone in the United States was blonde, blue eyes. So that's like pretty racist thing to be taught as a child. That everyone in the United States is, and then she wanted a child that was blonde with blue eyes. So she was gonna go to America and have a baby there. You know, she wasn't gonna marry an American that had blonde and blue eyes to have a blonde, blue-eyed baby. She was gonna go to America and have the baby there because that's how genetics work. So that's something my mom thought as a child there. As a bonus, my mom thought that if you had babies in America, they would be born blonde and blue-eyed. And she doesn't know why. Like, we think that it was just like something somebody told her, something like someone super racist said or something. I don't know. I don't even know how you can explain that or how you can think that. Like, I feel like someone had to say something pretty fucked up when you were a kid to believe that. But yeah, I think the worst part is that I think there's like a smell that I would relate to Miami. There's a smell I would relate to the United States in general that isn't the coconut ant one. There is just like the smell of my godmother lived in Miami, and every time she came, she brought like clothing and toys, and she would open her suitcase and there will be like a smell, which now I would say is kind of like the smell of just like clean stuff or like new stuff, like a new book smell kind of deal, but it was just like the smell of new plastic, new clothing. So when she would open her suitcase, that smell would like, you know, come out, and that's what I thought the United States smelled like. But then I moved to Miami, and let me tell you, it does not smell like that. It smells pretty much the same as here. So yeah, some things about my childhood that some of them are pretty fucked up, and some of them I still believe for some weird reason. You know what? I could do a video of something very similar, but with religious things, because there's like things that I questioned about religion as a child and my parents couldn't answer, and I can make a whole list of that because apparently when I was a kid, And when I was a kid, I'm talking like first grade, second grade, I used to go to a school that had Catholic religion class. And I would question it a lot, apparently. Like, I would question the Bible made no sense to me as a child, apparently. And I would come to my mom and ask questions, and she would not know how to answer them. So I can make a video about that if you want to. I don't know. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope some of those made you laugh. I was laughing, remember? And I'm sure there's tons I don't remember because I was pretty dumb as a child. But, like, weren't we all dumb as a child? So I hope that was something you like to listen to, and I'll see you Friday with who knows what because I haven't planned anything. Have a good day, good night, good fight, and I'll see you next time. Bye.